This is the Above Average Podcast, and you are listening because you want an above average life.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Above Average Podcast, the podcast where we talk to above average people about their above average lives. Now, my guest today is someone who's lived many lives through many roles, on screen in shows like Hollyoaks and Smoggie Queens, on stage and even at the massage table. He's been a soap star, a theatre lead, and an active advocate for breaking down the stigmas of HIV. He brings a rare kind of honesty to everything he does, whether he's playing a character or helping someone's tight shoulders in a Brixton living room. I'm genuinely excited to dig into his story, what he's lived, what he's learned, how he keeps his head right, and why he should 100% play the next Superman. Please welcome Peter McPherson to the show. How are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you for having me. I wasn't expecting that welcome. I was like,
Well, you got to make you feel welcome,
well,
Superman.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a big honour to have Clark Kent in the studio. So there we go.
I see you've done your research.
Yeah, you don't have the glasses though, mate.
No,
for the Clark Kentness, but
no.
so
Had laser eye surgery.
You've come as Superman.
Yes,
today.
I have.
Oh, you had laser eye surgery?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
Oh God, you're talking about maybe 10 years ago, maybe a bit
Nice.
less. Yeah.
I'm considering it, but my face looks really dull without glasses.
You suit them. I can
do,
tell.
but look, like if I take them off, look, like do you know what I mean? There's,
No problem.
yeah. We're off to a good start. He's already bullying me within the first 15 seconds. It's fine. So let's dig into a little bit of who Peter is and what Peter does. So about 16 years old, you did your first advert. Is that about right? So what do you remember about that? Was it exciting? Was it thrilling? Was it nerve-wracking? Like, what do you remember about that?
It was exciting, scary. It was in the Metro Centre, I think it was. I have such a bad memory. I can't even remember things. But I was doing a performing arts course at Stockton and Billingham College. I think it's called Stockton and Riverside now. And I think three of us went through, and it was at night. So when the shopping centre was closed, and it was so exciting to be there. And
after hours.
Yeah, Metroland, is that what it was called? It was
right, okay, yeah,
that
nice,
was still there. And yeah, was it? Weirdly enough, as well, I met some people that when I auditioned for drama schools in London, we were there at the same time. And then also the person who was the main character of the advert, I worked for him later on because he had his own company, and I used to go around. I used to be in like a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons tribute.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Okay, yeah.
And he was my boss. He was the one that started it. Yeah.
I love it. So, do you remember what the advert was actually like?
No.
Oh, no.
I just remember, I think he was washing his clothes, and then when he took something out of the washing machine, it was smaller. I honestly can't remember.
that advert will exist somewhere. I would like.
It will.
Yeah,
it will.
Someone will find it and be like,
Yeah.
"This is it." Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you mentioned to me that you didn't have. When you were that age, you didn't really have a clear plan of the future. It was kind of something that you just kind of loved drama. You went to, was it like guidance counselor kind of thing? Like, what was so you didn't really have a plan with the acting?
So at school, I was severely bullied. And the only class I really kind of felt safe in was drama. Mrs. Lang and my teacher. I don't know what it was about that class, but like, I just didn't get bullied in there at all, even though I was in there with bullies. Like sometimes after class, you'd be like, "Oh, mate, that was sound that." Do you know what I mean? Like, and then we'd go back to bullying. But I had a career advisor interview, and I think it's like your last year or second to last year you have them.
They ask you at like 16 years old, what are you doing when they do
Exactly.
for the rest of your life?
Yeah, and you're like no idea.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And she said, "Okay, well, what's your favourite lesson?" And I was like, "Well, drama." And she went, well, what's your second favourite? And I was like,
have a backup, Peter.
Yeah. And I said, well, no, you asked me what my favourite was. It's drama. And it never occurred to me that was a possibility, that could be a job. I don't know why. I'm quite weirdly naive, but like watching Mary Poppins as a kid, I didn't realise they were all actors.
Yeah, okay,
like, do you know what I mean?
Like, this is just, it
yeah.
didn't quite click.
But
no,
then also she's in Sound of Music. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Like, hang on a minute, Mary.
Yeah, there was a reason I was in special needs classes. So,
same as I was on low set for everything. Don't worry
everything,
about it. Literally everything. Yeah.
And so she was like, okay, well, there's these two places, Stockton and Billingham, and then another college which was in Middlesbrough, and so they had these open days. I took my dad took me, and I went to Stockton Billingham, and I said, "Dad, this is where I need to be. This is the one. I don't need to go to the other one. I just don't know if this is it."
Yeah.
And so I auditioned and I got in.
Nice.
And then I was there for a year. And I didn't see, there was a 1-year course and a 2-year course.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the grades to be on the 2-year course, so I had to do the 1 year. And then I was going to, after that, do the 2-year course, so I'll be there for 3 years.
Yeah.
But then all the second years or third years, how you'd say, is like auditioning for schools in London.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I want to do that. I want to, So my plan was, I'll tell my tutor, if she laughs at me, I won't do it.
Okay.
And if
let's gauge the reaction.
Yeah. And if she's supportive, then I'll go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, absolutely. And she said, London Studio Centre, you need to audition there, because that's where she'd gone.
Yeah.
So it was the only school I applied for, right? The only school. And I auditioned and I got in, and they give one scholarship out a year. Mm-hmm. And I got it.
Nice.
Yeah, out of all these like hundreds and hundreds of people who.
Do you like send in like an acting tape for that, or is it just based off grades and stuff?
You apply, and then they give you an audition date. You go down, and you had to do a ballet class. You had to do a jazz class. You had to do a contemporary class. You had to sing, and you had to do a monologue.
Damn.
So yeah.
What if you could do all of those but couldn't sing? That's not your fault, right?
Yes, yeah. I sang Gethsemane from Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't know why.
Nice.
I think I'm insane.
That's what did it, though. The rest of it was crap, but that you must have nailed
They
it.
must have thought, he's got balls here to sing this.
Well, fair. You know what? Fair enough, though. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
But I don't come from a family of theatrical people. Like, theatre's not really in their world, really.
Were you a big fan of films and stuff growing up, like, or was it just something that you just loved to express yourself in that way?
That's it. Like, I think it's like people assume because you're an actor you like attention, and that's not really my thing. I do it, or I did it, and how it all started was because it was my way of being able to express myself in a situation or a world that I felt like I couldn't because of being bullied or whatever, or that environment. And I was pretty shy growing up. I'm a lot better now. I've obviously got ways to deal with it, and I can switch things on when I need to.
Yeah.
But it was, and I think that's why with my work and everything I do, to me, it's not about hiding or putting on a voice and acting and a costume. It's about revealing through and being honest, being as authentic as possible. That's how I work with it.
No,
So,
I love that. But also, you were a trained dancer as well, right? Which you mentioned me downstairs, which I'm very jealous of Peter's coughs, by the way. Insane coughs. As someone who was trained in the gym for many years, and my coughs are still the size of a toddler's, I'm jealous of your coughs. So where did the dancing fit in with life? What age were you when you started doing that?
I was 14, 15.
Okay.
I started late. I used to run when I was a kid anyway, so I was quite athletic.
Yeah.
But then when I was about 14, 15, I got a pamphlet or whatever it was, or something through the door, and it was for this weekend Saturday theatrical group thing where you did drama and a bit of this and a bit of everything. Okay. And it was in the old people's home next to my house. So I was like, brilliant. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. And I said to a friend, well, do you want to come with me? Because I didn't have the courage to do it on my own. And I had like a top knot at the time, like an undercut, tied back, going through a bit of a gothy phase. Even though I wasn't really a goth, I just didn't fit in. So I just kind of slipped into that, even though it wasn't who I was. Had my eyebrow pierced as well.
Oh, wow. You really went all out with it. So you committed to the role.
Well, it's because Mel B had it done, so I wanted it. Do you know what I mean? But I turned up, and I think they were like, who's this here? Like, but they gave me a chance, and I loved it. It was like, we'd do drama and different things. And then they said to me, we want to put on a show, and why don't you come to the dance classes during the week? So I started that, took to it really well, and that's how I started dancing. And then when I went to Studio Centre, that's when I really focused on the dance, and my body just adapted. I'm quite a studious person, so when I put my mind to something,
No, I love that. It's interesting though, because obviously you mentioned the sort of the bullying in school and stuff like that. Like it's quite a common thing that I get on the show and stuff, is people who become quite successful in life, there's
Yeah.
there's always this air of bullying. And was it ever in your mind that you were like, kind of want to show these cunts who's boss kind of thing? Was it ever like that, or?
No, because like I'm quite not blinkered. I don't think that's the right word, but like I get through a lot of things because I'm so focused on what I'm doing.
Yes.
I don't like. There's a special thing when you're on stage and you've got a light on you, right? And there's no one else and there's just silence. And there might be an audience of people, but when you've got a light on you, and I remember this moment so much, and it's like you can only see this around you, and it's a really special place to be. And I kind of get through life a bit like that, a bit like I'm always focused on my things. I'm not really aware of what other people are doing because you know what I mean, like
yeah, it's not even in a, like some people obviously hearing that, like obviously I know exactly where you come from. Some people go, well, that sounds quite selfish, but it's not. It's what needs to happen in order to, because most people live their lives following other people's footsteps or listening to what other people say, getting pushed from pillar to post. And it's like when you know what you want to do, you forget all that external bullshit. You forget people's opinions. You forget the comments that you get online or whatever. And you just do your thing. And people always go, how have you managed to do this? I can't even get out of the house. And well, don't listen to other people. Exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So one of your roles that I want to talk about first, because I've been dying to ask you about this, is you were in a scene opposite Emma Thompson.
Yes.
In a show called Years and Years, which I haven't seen, but I watched some clips of, and I was really fascinated by the concept of it. It's like a dystopian thing, isn't it? Yeah. So what was that like, being opposite her?
She was incredible, literally amazing.
Yeah.
So I turn up. Also, bearing in mind, right, when you have a small role, say small, there's no small roles, but they are the hardest things to do because you have to, especially with Years and Years, like you're this tiny cog in this huge machine, right? And you have to, like, you come in for a day or two and there's so many things that you have to think about and you're like taking on board and assessing. But she was amazing. I met her in the makeup trailer. And she was like, "Oh, hi, I'm Emma Thompson." As if you didn't know
you were like,
was.
I know exactly who you are.
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, I play this role." And I said, "Oh, I'm Peter. I play, you know." And she was like, "Oh, great to put a face to the role." And she was just incredible. And I just sat there in the makeup trailer listening to her conversation. Also, my trailer was attached to hers as well, so I could hear everything through the thing. And she was... I can't literally speak highly enough of her. She was so lovely and so graceful. She knew everyone's name, every person's name, every crew person, every cast, every actor, She went round to all the SAs, the supporting artists, and she introduced herself. She was like, "Hi, I'm Emma. What's your name? Oh, what's your..." You know, and she kind of like was making backstories for people like, "Oh, maybe you're in a relationship," and stuff. And it made me, and I watched her every step of the way, on camera, off camera, how does she prepare, how is she with people, and it made me go, you don't have to be a cunt to be successful.
Yes,
you can be the nicest person. And something happened on the set where she had a stand-in, and a stand-in is where they're setting up the shot. Emma can go and do something that she needs to do, or maybe she's got an interview or whatever it is, or prepare. They put this woman, this young girl, in the set, and they'll light her around her. And Emma was talking to her and was like, "Oh, you know, is this what you want to do, be an actress?" And she said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to." And she said, because there's a thing called Spotlight for actors, and Spotlight is where you have to be professional to be on there, and you have to have so many credits, and that's where all the big breakdowns for films and things come through, and that's what your agent will be on, looking for what's the next audition.
Yeah.
And so she said, "Oh yeah, I got 3 credits, and then they changed it to 4, so I just need 1 more." So Emma went away, and she spoke to the producers, and she said, "Have we got a role we can give her?" And the producers said, "Well, actually, we're filming a scene tomorrow, and there's a character in that has 1 line." And she said, "Great." So she went back and she went, "There you go. There's your credit."
Wow,
she went,
nice.
"We film it tomorrow. Make sure you know your line." And the girl was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, thank you so much. And it cost Emma nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing. But for her, it meant everything. And that's yeah, like she seems to be someone who will help other people up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not someone like, I need to stay on top, I need to bring you down.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like you said, you don't have to be a total dick to. It's like you can use your level of fame
Yes.
or authority in that situation to abuse it and be like, well, I want these M&Ms, but take the blue ones out, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Everything was blue M&Ms, but like, or you can be like, you know, like I can do this for you because you know of who I am, and I love that like sort of humbleness of it. So, and I think that's probably why she is quite as successful as she is, to be fair. Like she hasn't, I mean, as far as we're aware, she hasn't stepped on many heads or put people down. Like she just seems like a lovely woman.
She's got a huge heart, I think, especially when you know, Princess Diana died, and she was there for William and Harry a lot, I think. You know what I mean? To have that compassion and to just reach out to them. And also I'd done my research on her as well. And we were on set and we would just like ad lib. We would just be like, you know, because she wanted to stay in not necessarily in character, but she wanted to stay in the voice of it, the accent of it, because she didn't want it to slip. And because I in the show, I play, basically she buys a TV channel. And this TV channel means that she can air her views 24 hours a day, which she can't do as a politician. But if she has her own TV channel, it's there. So that's how she gets around it. And she hires me to be a presenter on the TV channel. So then I get to ask her leading questions. And
you kind of put her in her place a little bit.
And I asked her about... I made a joke about Donald Trump asking her out on a date, and he actually had, and and she was like, so she started in character, and then she actually broke, and she was like, no, but he actually did, and he said, yeah, she was like, I was in my trailer, and I don't know how he'd got through to my trailer, and he asked her out on a date, and she said no, but and then we're like, right, let's go for another take, and and
you were like, I want to know about Trump, I want to know more about this. Who else has asked you out on a date? Yeah, you were like digging for the celebrity gossip.
Yeah, I was auditioning for something at the time, and she said to me, and it was my last day on set, and she said, if you get it, can you let me know, like through my people kind of thing, will you message them to let me know, because I want to know if you get it or not. Do you know what I mean? So it was like,
keep it in touch. Have you been for drinks? Have you seen her since?
We're best. No, we're not. Imagine. No,
me and Emma on the piss, bottomless brunch.
I'm not allowed in 30 feet.
You broke it. You pushed it too far.
Yeah. I was in a garden.
Yeah.
So
at night with the binoculars. So what? Obviously the show was written by Russell T Davies. Is that right? Yeah. So I noticed when I went back through your Instagram stuff, he'd left a few comments on stuff like that, and I was like, that must be quite a surreal experience because obviously he's quite a big name. Obviously, Doctor Who and lots of other things like that. Like,
folk,
was it things. When you see things like that, when you meet these people, do you still get that moment of like shock, or when the comment, are you still like, oh, it's just Russ? You know what I mean? Like, how does it hit you?
No, of course I do. Yeah, it is amazing, and everything that he's done, and you know all the things he's written and what he stands for as well is incredible. Met him at the Smoggie Queen's premiere thing in London as well, because we'd chatted but we'd never met, if you know what I mean. We'd always message each other, but like we hadn't properly met at that point. It was always never worked out. And the day I was also doing Years and Years, he was ill, so I didn't get to meet him that day either. But he's again someone who's got people's backs and someone who's raising people up. Like, you know, I actually auditioned for another role in that, and I didn't get it, but they liked my audition that they gave me another role instead.
Nice.
So I just felt like, you know, he wanted to help me in a sense. I don't know if that's that's the sense I get. That's the feeling I get. So,
go with the intuition. Yeah.
And also, like, in hindsight, and this is how I think my mindset is as well, is I wasn't ready for that role, to be honest. So, you know what I mean? The person who did get it and who did it was really great.
Yeah.
And also, like, now, yes, I'd be able to do it. But at the time, I don't think I was ready. And I am a believer of things come to you at the right time. So
yeah, I think I was always of the belief when I was younger and I first got into sort of like mindset and stuff, I was always of the belief that every opportunity is for me. I can do this and I want to do this, and you just take it and adapt afterwards. But as I've gotten older, I've started to realize not every opportunity is for you at that time. And I think the more mature thing to do is to be a bit more selective, not like to the point where you don't do anything because you're like, well, I don't deserve this here, I'm not ready for it. but like some things you genuinely aren't ready for. Like we were talking before about the book behind you, The Power of Now, for example. And I remember reading that, and I had no idea what half of it meant.
Yeah.
And then I went back like 5 years later, reread it, and I was like, oh, I'm in a place where I can understand this now. And it wasn't anything to do with, I don't know, immaturity or whatever. It was just, it wasn't the right time to. Yeah. So I get it in a roundabout way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the other things you've done is theatre as well. Yeah. So jumping around a bit, you talk to me about Afterglow, which is a very different role to play. So talk to me about that. What was that experience
Afterglow, like? It was great. I mean, there's been challenging times with it as well. I've played both roles. So it's about...
So Alex and Josh, is that right?
Alex and Josh, yeah. And they're a married couple, and they have an open relationship, and they meet a third, and it gets complicated. Let's just say that.
As it does, yeah.
As it does. So the first time I played it was... What were the characters' names again? Alex and Josh. I played Alex. See, that's the thing. I do...
the memory thing. It's cool. I got you. It's okay.
I finish things and it's literally like gone, delete.
Yeah.
So I played Alex the first time round, and then the second time I played Josh, which is me. I'm a bit too old to play the third. So unless they can do, you know...
Oh, so it's like is it a much younger third then that comes in?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and it's nice to do a gay story, a theatre, and something that I'm quite close to in a sense of like being gay, being open relationships, things like that. Yeah. It's a great story.
Do you approach the theatre stuff differently to how you approach a TV role or a film role, something like that?
It's different, like in a sense of there's no good or bad. There's no better or worse. Do you know what I mean? That really annoys me about actors. It's just a different skill set. Okay. That's all.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, with theatre, there's a lot more script, a lot more text normally. So it's just getting that on board. And once you get as familiar as possible, and you, as well as deeping with the questions and stuff like who am I, where am I, what's going on, and all that stuff.
Backstory of the character.
Yeah, and then working moment to moment with it. But also you have to know. Like with theatre, you're working 360, sometimes 180, but you know, 360, you have to know how to... I mean, I went to a drama school that was very good for movement, direction, also coming from a dance background as well.
Spatial awareness,
everything, you know, sometimes you're having to like speak with your back. That might sound mad, but like act with your back, if you know what I mean, or whatever. And
postures also,
and then, you know, with camera, your 180 is this wedge. Do you know what I mean? It's not actually a 180 because of where the camera is. That looks, if I turn my head, it you know what I mean? So you have to know how a camera works, how, you know, it's not about angles and looking good. It's just being able to know what's going to read, how it's to tell the story best as possible, you know, eye lines and all of that stuff. It's just knowing your work, your craft in a sense. But and I love both. I love that it both is a different challenge.
Different mediums, yeah. Well, Afterglow is quite it's obviously about the open relationship side of things. It's quite obviously I haven't seen it, but judging by the poster of three naked guys, I was like, it's clearly quite a sexual, quite sexual. So does that role appeal to you in like in you, or is it just something that you just like? It's just kind of it's another interesting job. Like?
So my agent's like, oh God, can you please just keep your clothes on? Because every job
has he seen your Instagram? Seriously?
Yes, every job I end up taking my clothes off.
It's like I don't get asked to, I just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, it doesn't say anywhere in the scene that you should do that. I work hard at the gym. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. But also I couldn't give about what you think of my body, and I don't care if you think my dick's big, if you think it's small, if you I like literally I'm here. We're telling a story.
Do you have to get that out on the?
Yeah, it starts.
Okay.
The show starts having a threesome. During sex, and then it's like starts, and then
Carla, we're going to go see this play. I buy you tickets for your birthday. It's okay.
Yeah, and so like I just and also like, you know, sometimes people are like fluffing themselves. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care, because what I care about is actually does the scene make sense? Are we responding to each other? Like, am I listening to you? Are you listening to me? Like, if I'm worried about what people are thinking of my penis, like, I'm not in the scene. Do you know what I mean?
You're
And
too,
also,
too in your head.
In the wrong head.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah, no, I love that, because obviously it's kind of that blinkered tunnel vision again. It's like it's that whole classic thing that I don't. Obviously, I'm not an actor. I've done one music video in my life, I was a kidnapper. Yeah, it was great. I threw my best mate into a boot. I was like, "Can we do this scene again?" He's like, "We've got it." I'm like, "No, I just want to shove him in the boot again." But like, obviously, like in terms of putting yourself in the mindset of a character, I've never had to do that, and most people probably don't. They'll have to get into maybe work mode or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there a sort of like, obviously not method acting, but is there a routine that you go through to really get into the head of that character? Do you have like a breathing thing, or like do you look in the mirror, like affirmations? Like, is there anything that you have along those lines?
No, like it depends on the amount of time you've got to do it. As in, so like at drama school, you have the luxury of working on a role for like 6 to 9 weeks. You don't have that in like in theatre, maybe you might, or with that, I think we had 3 weeks rehearsal. And so I was a good student, and a good student doesn't necessarily mean a good actor.
Okay.
And it took me a long time, or it took me a while to kind of realize that. Like, I was trying to do 9 weeks of work in 2 days, and that's impossible. And then I would like filter through methodically. It was like, what I would do is I would take something out for an audition, and if the audition held up, I'd be like, right, that's not essential. And then I would do that bit by bit until an audition crumbled, and I was like, right, I know that is a foundation that I need to do in order for me personally, for something to work, and until I was left with the bare structure of what I needed. And then, so the roles, it works differently for everything. Like every project is different. I would go through and be like, okay, what's the similarities? What's the differences? And, what are they, what do they like, don't like, shouldn't, what, all that, what's their point of view about what they're saying?
Subtleties of a character.
Yeah. And like it, and sometimes like knowing the character's favorite color is a waste of time. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's blue. Does it say anywhere in the script?
Is it relevant?
Is it have you, if you have a little say about your costume, then potentially, but sometimes, a lot of the time, you've got a costume designer and they're already, you can sometimes speak to them and like, oh, I've thought about this, whatever. But it actually, that's a bit of information that is completely irrelevant. It's taking up space that it's actually, I feel like actors do a lot of that stuff because it detracts from the real work that they have to do. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Like, it's doing work, but it's just not doing the essential work that you know.
Yeah, it's what do they call it, like proactive procrastination or
yeah,
something.
Exactly.
It feels like busy work, but is it actually pushing it forward?
Yeah. And it's all about this scene. What's the circumstances of it? What does that mean? Because I think as humans, we're meaning-making machines, ultimately. And so I just have to find out what's the character making this mean, and how to make it as important to them as possible, so you're filled emotionally.
I like it. This is deep. I love this because I'm not an actor. I love hearing about it, and I'm a massive film buff, so it's interesting to hear about scenes. But there's a review online of you, excuse me, from Afterglow that praises your accent.
Me mum.
And obviously, I went through and I watched like a few of your acting reels and stuff like that, and I am very impressed by your ability to switch accents. Yeah, which is cool. So can you?
Thank you.
Which accents can you do?
American, I'm pretty good at, because like my general American is very good, I'd say, and also like we did get some coaching as well, and people did think like people think I'm American anyway. I think I look American.
I don't know. No. I just see Superman now. I can't.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if it's the jaw or what, or
maybe.
Yeah.
The dark eyes, maybe.
The dark eyes. Yeah. Normally I get like Americans casting wise, or murderers, paedophiles, or estate agents. Yeah. And one of
such a
them,
wide range
one of them
of
is worse than the others.
Yeah, I hate estate agents.
Exactly. They're just, that's evil. So yeah.
So come on, then, give us a taste of okay, how easy is it for you to switch on an accent? Do you have to hear it
Great.
first?
Like, what do
or-
you want to know? I don't know. I know. My name's Peter. I'm from Hartlepool, even though that doesn't exist in America. So
We should have
yeah.
started the interview like that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. You did what? There was one which I couldn't believe was you. It was a don't disrespect the cop or something. Or
Don't disrespect the car.
It was like you in an office with this guy, and then there's a big mug, and he puts your tie in a
Yeah, it was football, wasn't it?
something like that. You
FIFA.
just had like a general accent for that. And I was like,
Did
that doesn't
I?
sound like
Yeah.
It was just
Can't
like
remember.
yeah, it was
So this is the interesting thing. When I moved to London to go to drama school or like dance school, I was told to lose my accent.
okay.
So, and being 17 years old, because I was just like, well, these are my teachers. They know what they're talking about. They're, hanging on off every word they say. And actually, it's a load of bollocks. And I mean, I have some compassion because they're just teaching what they've been told.
Yes.
But it's outdated. It's outdated now. They're, the days of Judi Dench or whatever and things like that. But so that's, and also like, don't be gay either, like hide that. And now it's nice that doing Smoggie Queens as well is that I don't have to, I can be gay, I can be as gay as I want, and I can be as northern as I want.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like coming home, and it feels like, oh, yes. So I've got a weird accent anyway. With like, I
do
mean,
you dip through? I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to place where your voice is coming from.
yeah.
But yeah. So.
Some people think I'm Welsh. Some people think I'm from South Africa. Some people, like I'm being up north filming at the minute, so it's a bit more kind of with my family as well.
Is there a favorite one that you like to do, or a voice that you love to do?
I do like American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like.
Are you kind of like, what kind of, are we talking like sort of California American that you
No,
love
just
more?
like
or just
general
like,
American. Yeah.
I used to be able to do Scottish really well, and I remember when I worked in a restaurant, it was like we just used to do stupid shit on like a Sunday shift, and it was like, can you make an entire family believe that you're from Scotland? And I did it, and it was great, and I won like a point. Yeah, it was great. I don't even think I could do it now. It's one of those things where I'm one of those people that I have to hear it, and then I can sort of copy it. But I do that on. It's a weird thing. I'll copy someone's voice or their accent, even when I don't mean to. So it kind of sounds like I'm taking the piss a little bit. Like I'll be on holiday or something, and I'll start, like when I was in like Florida, for example, and I started picking up American twangs and stuff. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why do I do this? I'm not trying to fit in here. They speak English. It's not like I have to speak in a different language. But
well, when I did my audition for Smoggie Queens, I couldn't do a Middlesbrough accent. I'd forgotten how to do it, or Hartlepool. So I did like a Geordie thing. And then once I got the job, I was like, Mum, Dad, talk to me. Like we hadn't for years.
remind me how to speak.
yeah. So yeah.
So you know all that work you did for me as a kid, where you told me how to speak, do it again.
Do it,
do it again, but like
because it's different. Like Geordie, or it's a bit more like "nor," but like we'd say "nah." It's like flat and like just make the nastiest sounds. Like, do you know what I mean?
That came through there.
Yeah, you're joking on. Yeah, like it's just a bit like "nah."
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I could listen to accents all day. I've had a few impressionist people on here, and I just love listening to their impressions and shit. Yeah. It's great. But you said something to me where I found this really interesting, and I agree with you completely. You said something earlier about you believe that actors need to understand the product that they sell. So how much can you expand on that mindset thing? So I found that really interesting.
Yeah, you need to know what you're selling, right? Like if you're selling sweets, right, and you've got a sweet shop, you're not going to sell bikes. Do you know what I mean? In there? Because it's like, whoa, this isn't the place for bikes. And the same as sweets in a spike shop.
Yeah.
So you need to know. And I think, yes, I'm an actor. And yes, I want to be an artist and things. And I have had friends that kind of reject that, of being like, no, I'm an artist, I'm not a brand. And but you do need to know what you're selling. You do need to know like what, and it's not that you can't play Hamlet or whatever, like, but it's just knowing what's your sweet spot, what's is it your USP?
Yes, unique selling point,
yeah. And within that range, And then, you know, it's not saying you can't, but it's just knowing when people look at you, and people will make not judgments, but they will think, you know, oh, where do they put you?
Yeah.
Like I said, murderers, estate agents, paedophiles. Do you know what I
I
mean?
really don't see the paedophile thing. Like, maybe it's the murderer. You've got the whole Joe Goldberg
It's the
attractive
heavy
thing going on.
eye, yeah, the heavy brow.
It's like, hello, you.
Yeah, like, oh, it's like my friend is half American, half Asian, and you need to know, like, you
That's
know,
interesting,
like,
yeah.
you know, what you can play, what is in your, what you can run with and utilize. It's a kind of romantic idea that I'm an actor, I can do everything, and it's like, it's no one's saying you can't, but it's also you need to know how a business works. It's show business. So, you know what I mean? Like,
There's another accent slipping through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It is interesting though, because it's like, obviously you get some actors like, say, Jason Statham or The Rock, who like play the same character and everything and make a really good thing for it. But then you've got other ones like, I don't know, Tom Cruise or something, for example, who plays a myriad of different roles. Obviously, you've got the action screen. Yeah, well, there's a few ones where he cries and stuff like that, where it's a lot. But then I get ones where it's like, you're like, fuck you, Tom. Peter's coming for your roles. When Mission Impossible gets rebooted, you're going for it, yeah.
Oh,
But
Tom.
it's like when, to be fair, I've just forgot every actor I've ever liked in my life.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's transformative in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, he's not playing himself all the time.
What gets me is that there's a lot of compilations online. You've probably seen them where it's like the best acting clips, and it's like the top 5, and it's just people either screaming or crying, and I'm like, it's good, but like, is that the best of acting?
There's
Like,
so much more to it than that. There really is. Even the just like, I love having a conversation like that, like in a scene, like having a conversation, speaking to each other.
My favorite forms of act. I think my favorite. Obviously, there's loads of scenes that I love in films and stuff. My favorites is like sort of monologues. So there's one I watched. Have you seen Pearl before? No, it's Mia Goth, and she has like a 10-minute monologue of just like trauma dump and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like the slow pan of the camera in and stuff, and I was like, that's what I would call, because it was like a one take. It was emotional. I was like, but it wasn't over the top. It was, and it was dark. I was like, that for me is what I would class as really good acting, not just Hugh Jackman screaming in prisons, which is good. But I'm like, it's, do you know what I mean?
But also, as an actor, this is one of the misconceptions as well, is that you don't have to feel everything. Is that like, you first of all, don't make something up if it's not there. Like, you have to be authentic. Like, sometimes it says like, oh, they cry, and you're like, you have to scratch that out. Unless someone says, oh, Adam, you're crying, you're like, fuck, I really have to do cry. Or, do you know what I mean? I have to work out how, like, you know, that means something to me, that I have to get to that point. But like, sometimes it's like, no, scratch it out, take that pressure off. Like, sometimes this is, you know, for the reader, and if I feel it, if it's there, great. If it's not, but also in film, there's so many other aspects to it that tell the story, you know. Or like, for instance, like, let's say we're on a park bench and I'm on my own and I'm looking out into the distance and I'm thinking. All I've got to be is in thought. All I've got to do is think. If it's the character thoughts, great, right? But also, you've got a camera there, might be panning. That's already telling a story. You've also maybe have music under score. That's already telling the music as well. And then boom, cut into another scene. So, you know what I mean? I don't have to do everything. It's not all on me to make this work. It's a collaborative thing. And so I don't have to be on a, you know, going... thinking and
bringing
you
up
know,
your childhood trauma inside just to cry for a scene. Like, can you cry and come on? I'm not going to ask you to cry, but is that something you can do, or is it?
I know I don't have trouble with being vulnerable. I see it as a superpower, and so it's. I know some actors have this real thing in the way of like they can't do it or they do it, but also to me, I think why I don't have a problem is because I don't see it as important. Is I don't like. It's not about crying. It's about being honest and authentic. And that it always comes back down that word for me, being authentic. Because if you truly, do you know what I love? It's like, you know, the old auditions of like E.T. with the young boy, and he has to say goodbye, and he's like, but he's saying goodbye to someone that he's gonna miss, and it's just there, and it's just, but he's speaking honestly, and it's just like, wow, there you go, that's it, that's what it is. Yeah. It's just having a point of view and believing in it.
I love that. Yeah. So in terms of obviously you said knowing what your unique selling point is as an actor or something. So you've known me for all of probably about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Plus a half an hour phone call the other day. If I was to fill a role, just as a curator, knowing who I am and how I look, what role would you put me in if you were producing something?
Gym trainer.
Okay.
Podcast maker.
Okay. I see where you're getting your inspiration from.
Yeah. I could see you as a bouncer potentially. Okay. So like
the bald head.
You know, a barman. What else? Sometimes it takes like think outside.
This isn't even in my questions. I just came up with this on the spot. I was just curious.
Yeah.
You know what? I had that as well. So no, I'm not part of the Nazi party, guys. Just to say it. So when I first shaved my head, I posted a picture online. Yeah. And I was like, oh, you know, I've lost all my hair, blah blah blah. And my friend went, "Hey, you look like you should be in American History X." And I was like, "Thanks, mate. Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate the vote of confidence in my new hairline." But do you have an opinion on like method acting, for example, or is that not something you've ever really?
Yeah, I've looked into everything. Mm-hmm. I am a big fan of acting, and so I've looked into it all. Method acting, Stanislavski, like the lineage of it, is that the right word? Meisner, Uta Hagen, Stella Adler, like all of the great kind of methodologies in a sense of acting and where it comes from, how it comes. Method acting, sometimes it's not safe in a sense of like, it's not reliable also because, you know, things change and move, and something that might have worked for you, might stop working for you. Also, our experience is limited, where our imagination is, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like not infamous, like limitless in a sense. And so we can create all these amazing things in our heads that actually move us, where also there might be something traumatic in your past, and it's like going back to that is like picking the scabs off. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it's necessarily healthy.
It's quite heavy as well. Yeah. Well, if you look at Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, or even when Jared Leto did the Suicide Squad, and he was sending rats to Margot Robbie and stuff, and it's like sometimes I think it's like too much, you know?
Come on, like really, I just don't, in a sense, really agree with it. Like if you I know everyone's got their own process, and what I discovered was, as well, by looking at other actors that I admired and reading books and thinking, hang on, wow, they've done the forward for this book, but yet they went to that school, and that school is this training, and that's that training. And then I realized that, like, it's like religion. You've got your different kind of thing, like your groups, but also not one methodology works for one person necessarily. It might be a bit of, I take this from that one, and then you create your own, something that works for you, because and also we're all individuals, so what works for you might not work for me. But I mean I do have my point of view on certain things where I think, oh, it's ridiculous, that's just annoying for people on set. Do you know what I mean? And or like you have to respect other people and how they work. But don't
push it too far. It's like, I think one of my favorite actors is Christian Bale, and apparently he's quite like a fiery character and whatnot, and I'm just like, when I look at his transformation in The Machinist to then Batman, and I'm just like, I respect the shit out of that. But I know, like, obviously he had that outburst on Terminator where he was calling out that guy. Have you heard this?
I think so.
You've seen that where the guy, he's doing like an emotional scene, and the camera guy, the lighting guy walks in, and he has a fucking outburst. Would that, like, is there anything that puts you off on set like that, for example? Like, has anything happened where you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, that ruined that for me, kind of thing?
I think, I mean, I understand it is outburst in the sense of like, if everyone is, I mean, everyone's got their own roles and have to do everything, but when the room comes together and it's concentrated, it's focused, that's when it's at its best. And if people aren't paying attention, and if it is distracting you, then yeah, I suppose then you need to like kind of nip that in the bud. Maybe there's a way of going about it, potentially. I don't know. Or who knows, you might have caught them on a bad day. And
just have an outburst on your next season. Smoggie Queens, you're like, you fucking...
yeah.
While you're all in nice costumes and stuff, just beat the show.
But honest to God, that is one of my favourite sets to be on, because we all giggle, we all laugh, we all just have the best time. And we get the work done, but we're all supportive and like... I'm trying not to laugh it's... Do
you get your shirt off much in Smoggie Queens?
Not in season 2.
Oh, are you disappointed about that?
Actually, no, because I've put a bit of weight on.
You don't look at it. If people are watching, they're like, damn.
Yeah.
But it's funny because obviously body confidence is something that I talk a lot about on this show and stuff like that. Like, obviously you mentioned that you got into character. You obviously you don't mind what people think of your parts, right?
Yeah.
But like, have you ever struggled with the, like, before you were in maybe ripped shape and stuff? Was it something that you like had a problem with? Do you ever dip in and out of like, I kind of don't feel like it today? I
ran when I was a kid, so I was always athletic. Then I danced, so I was always athletic. And then when I went to drama school, I probably put a little bit of weight on because I wasn't being physical in that sense of dancing. And then when I got to 30, I wanted to do something about my body. It wasn't necessarily for everyone else, it was for me.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like I God, I can't. I remember having a PT and he was like, right, what's your goals? And I went, I just want everyone to want to fuck me.
That's a fucking great goal, though. Yeah, that's why.
Anyway,
do you know what? That's why most people want to start the gym.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what everyone wants to say. Just be honest.
Yeah.
And he was so like, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it for health. I couldn't give a shit. And I was just like, that's all. Like, you know, not all I want, but do you know what I mean?
It's a driving factor.
It's a driving factor. And now, I mean, I had someone recently comment on my body and I lost it with them. I really, really lost it. So this is someone who, we go to the same gym. He's an older man, 70 years old.
Okay.
And he just says things that I'm just like, I've let go a couple of times. He said like, your body's perfect. Don't change it. Don't get too big.
Okay.
And as much as that's a compliment in one way, it's like, don't tell me what I can and cannot do with my body. It's my body.
Yeah.
And my, if I want to get big or whatever it is, you know, and he also says things like, I mean, this is an idiot, but like, they've given you a bigger part this time on Smoggie Queens. And you're like, you really don't know, like, what?
Yeah, it's such a backhanded compliment in a way, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, he came to me for a massage, right?
Oh, okay.
And he'd just come from the gym for a PT session. And and I was like, how did your PT session go? And stuff. He's like, oh yeah, we're counting macros and all this. And then I don't know how he got into this. And then he said, well, you're looking bigger. And I went, and I was like, so... And I thought, I can't let this slide today. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, you put on a bit of timber. And I was like, you're absolutely out of fucking order. How dare you comment on my body? You have no right to do that. And I just like, I feel it also, I think more for women than for men in a sense. But like, I think that might be like, I'm just like maybe experiencing it like the tip of the iceberg there, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
but I think maybe it's because it's built up that he said things before. It wasn't just a one-off where you're like, okay, I benefit of the doubt. This is something that's
and I said to him, "What's your intention? What is your intention with what you're saying right now?
Yeah.
Or is it that you're completely unaware?" And
Older men tend to be. And then when he came for the massage, you're like, fucking hell.
Literally, yeah. He asked for Swedish and I'm giving him deep tissue.
Pulling his toes and shit.
Yeah, he can't walk as he's going out. He did apologise afterwards. I mean,
fair enough.
Yeah, it probably wasn't the most relaxing massage. But then he apologised and he said, and I said, Yeah, okay.
Water under the bridge thing. Yeah. So until the next time he.
Yeah. I just think you have to think about what you say. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you're saying to people.
Because you never know. Like, my personal belief is we're never going to be 100% happy with our bodies. There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. Like, I mean, it took me 3 or 4 years before people started to notice that I actually went to a gym. I was just always scrawny and I looked ill.
Yeah.
And it's like some days I'll wake up and I'll go, oh, you're looking, I look in the mirror and I go, damn, those pecs are popping, And some days I'm like, do you even lift? Is it even worth having this creatine every day? Do you know what I mean? But I think we always go through that cycle, and I think as long as you have more good days than bad, and it's like you don't take it to extremes.
Do you know what I think's really sexy? Something that's really attractive: confidence.
Absolutely.
I couldn't give a shit what your body looks like. Honest to God, I couldn't. If that to me is sex appeal. If someone's confident, and you don't have to be in good shape necessarily to have that confidence. I wish some people knew that more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like me 8 years ago would have killed to look like I do now, and I don't turn down donuts.
No.
I enjoy it, but I also love.
I love a Greg's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to be the face of Greg's. By the way, that's my goal.
I think you could do it.
Yeah.
Get a Superman outfit as well. We'll
Did you see it?
But it's one of those things that it's like you don't have to be 100% happy with your body all the time. I don't think as long as you're doing something about it and you're not just sitting and whinging about it. I think it's great.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm getting older now as well, and my body is changing, and it's like kind of dealing with those things as well.
Yeah, but you're still in great shape because I've seen your Instagram, and I've scrolled back and I've seen some of the revealing outfits you've seen, which I can't show on this podcast. But
like and subscribe.
like, share, and subscribe, and Peter will take off his knickknacks. But so I mentioned in the introduction, and we're about to get a bit heavy with this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So obviously we mentioned in the introduction, you speak very openly about HIV and also having HIV itself. So you were diagnosed in 2009.
Yes.
So what was the lead up to visiting the doctor and getting that diagnosis? What was the build up there?
So I got really ill, and I had to have time off college at drama school, and that's very rare for me. To miss a class was like, whoa, something's serious with Peter. And so I think I was off for about getting on for the 3rd week nearly, and so bad that I ended up going into hospital. They did all these tests, and then they were like, we can't find anything, but are you a gay man? I said yes. I've been having unprotected sex. I said yes. And they said, okay, we've booked you into the sexual health clinic. It's in the hospital. It's just on this ward. We're going to release you now. Go there. They'll be expecting you. Yeah. I was so scared I didn't go. I went home, and my dad came down to visit, stayed with me for a couple of days, basically just sat by my bedside where I couldn't get out of bed. I was that ill. It's called seroconversion. It's when your body takes on the virus. Okay. Some people have nothing. Some people might have a sniffle or a cold. I had like it was like the flu. Yeah, really bad kind of thing. And so he stayed for a couple of days, and then he left. And then I was like, I didn't want to be, I was scared to be on my own. Yeah. And I decided I'm going to go. And like the next day I woke up, it was like the blizzards of all blizzards hit the UK. And I must have got, like, without sounding dramatic, I think I got one of the last trains out of King's Cross. And I was like, I just need to get on a train and go home. Yeah. So I got home, and I was like, right, I'm in my parents. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. There's something about being at home with your parents.
Makes it better.
Yeah. And it was about 10 o'clock at night. My parents were getting ready to go to bed. And I started Googling like symptoms of HIV kind of thing. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, got that symptom. And it literally, this flood of fear and everything just went over me. Yeah. And it's like it wiped me out. And you know what I mean? Like my immune system and everything was low, and I was tired as well, but it was just like woomph. And my parents were going to bed, and that was one of the worst nights of my life. I didn't sleep. I did everything to try and distract my mind, and I couldn't. And then it got to a point where I Googled helplines, and I called one up, and they were amazing, 24 hours. And they just sat on the phone with me. Oh, God, gets me every time.
That's okay.
But
Take your time.
yeah, they said, come to this place in Middlesbrough at, I can't remember, like, say 9 o'clock, whatever, and we'll do a rapid test. You'll know within the hour.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents got up the next day, and my dad was like, have you been to bed? And I said, Dad, can you take me to Middlesbrough? And he was like, wow, I've got kind of like, you know. And my mum said, no, you take him. She just knew. Mums know. Mums are like, yeah, intuition. Yep. And she went, no, you have to take him. And so he said he agreed. And we drove through. He didn't know where we were going or what we were doing. And he just parked up in a van. He had a van at the time, small white van. And I went in. And they did the test. I wasn't waiting an hour. It came back pretty quick. And they pulled me back in and said, yeah, it's positive. And they were like, you need to go to hospital now and do some more tests. And I was like, fuck, my dad's outside in the car. Like,
yeah.
They said, do you want to bring him in? Tell him. So I went out, knocked on the window. I said, Dad, come in. And he sat down. And I just said, Dad, I'm HIV positive. And he was just like, his first thing was like, is he going to die? Or something like, how long has he got to live? It was something like that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm very fortunate that I was surrounded by a medical team that could fill in the blanks that I couldn't.
Yeah.
Also, I couldn't retain anything at the time. I couldn't, like, what you've just told me, my whole world is spinning.
Yeah.
So they put him at ease. They were like, no, it's not like that anymore. It's not a death sentence. He's going to live a long, healthy life. He just needs to be on the right medication. And so that felt kind of better. And then we had to travel to the hospital. We had to sit there for hours waiting to be seen. And as we waited, the more fear came back again, and more questions came, and I wasn't able to answer. So then we got tested, and then eventually we went home. And by that time, we'd been there all day. My mum was worried. We hadn't communicated with her. Obviously, didn't want to tell her over text and things.
Yeah.
But also, my granddad wasn't well, and he was staying with us. So we couldn't really talk about it openly. So it was all kind of like hush-hush, kind of like, you know.
It makes it worse.
Yeah. But I'm someone who, I think you always have to look back and you have to be fortunate for things. You know what I mean? Be grateful for things that happen. And I think I'm very lucky that my parents have known from day one.
Mm-hmm.
It was stressful. Like when I left to come back to London eventually, it was relief that I was like, oh my God, I don't have to be there for my parents. Because I was pretending to be strong for them, even though all I wanted to do was just crumble.
Yeah.
And so it was coming back to London, having to like, okay, now you can process it. So yeah, I'm lucky that they've always, they know. And every time I go for my 6 months tests and everything like that and all my checkups, I'm like, I always message them and my sister as well. I'm still undetectable and this low, and they're like, brilliant, well done. So yeah, I'm lucky because I'm very close with them. So I don't have that barrier. I don't have something in between that they don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So in terms of obviously the stigma around it, so obviously like you said that the first thing your dad said was like, is he gonna die, like how long has he got left to live, like because people hear it and it's kind of like a panic thing, you know. I mean, I think I think one of the biggest cases is like Freddie Mercury, for example. His kind of was one of the biggest cases, but obviously it's not like that. Like that's what people assume.
No.
So when you talk about this in interviews and things like that, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that people still have that you can set people right on?
It's like, well, again, like you say, Freddie Mercury, or like that Tombstone advert that was in the 80s, that it was like boom.
Everyone remembers those. They were horrible adverts. Yeah, they were.
Like,
they made it sound like it's kind of like how COVID was treated now, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's just getting that information out, the updated information, because some people that's basically, it's just they need a software update. And to be updated on all the new information. And it's kind of like you don't really pay attention to something until it affects you or until it affects people around you. So I understand why, you know, some people don't know these things. So it's just being that voice. it's interesting because I've worked with a few charities now. Make a Difference Trust, Mad Trust, Casey House in Canada, which is an exceptional place, and also Terence Higgins Trust over here, which is brilliant as well. And they tackling stigma, like they look at it like, well, what is stigma? It's like fear in a sense, and it's
misconceptions.
Exactly. And what it is like it's like like turning that light on, because it like stigma and fear hides in shadows. So it's like it's like putting that light on it. Let's put a spotlight on it and discuss it, because then that way you can, like you say, take those misconceptions away.
Yeah. So people obviously assuming it turns from HIV to AIDS. Like,
yeah.
How is that now? Like, what? How does it transition? What is that there? Because I don't fully understand.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, also I'm not a medical person, so do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like, I think they call it like advanced HIV now rather than AIDS, I think. But also, people don't get to that point because of medication. You know what I mean? Like I'm very fortunate to live in the UK and get free medication, and I'm taken care of really, really well.
Is it like a daily medication that you have to take?
I take a daily medication.
Was it like a pill, an injection? Like what?
One pill every night. You know, I some people take it in the morning, some people take it evening. One pill, I forget all about it, in a sense of I don't forget to not take it. I have a thing on my phone to remind me. But it's like taking a vitamin, you know? And there are injectables now, or like they're trialing them, where I think it's like every 6 months or a couple of months where you can get an injection, so you don't have to take pills anymore.
Okay.
So yeah.
Does it affect you at all, or because obviously, like looking at you, it's not like it's not like you would imagine you have this. You know what I mean? You're in great shape.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all your hair, lucky bastard. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, do you know what I mean? There's no side effects of those pills of losing your hair, I guess. But so there's no daily issues like that. You just
the only side effect I used to be on a medicine called Atripla, and some people can't be on it because it gives them like nightmares, night terrors.
Okay.
Yeah, I never got that, but what I did get was it made me drowsy. So I'd have to take it at night because I'd be just like, whoa. But then also there was some people got also depression with that. So a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm feeling really down. Like I feel depressed and, I'm not feeling good and stuff. And they were like, what medication are you on? I said, Atripla. They were like, right, let's take you off that.
Okay.
And then they put me on something new, and no side effects, no drowsiness, nothing. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned something to me, obviously, in the work that you've done. There was a pop-up restaurant and a pop-up massage parlor and stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously you told me the story, but what was the sort of message behind it? Because I really love that idea.
Yeah. So Casey House in Canada, they have this. Princess Diana went there in the 80s, like exceptional place. Like this, it started off as a hospice, now it's a hospital. And they have they look at it through medical, they look at it through holistic, they look at it through, you can garden there, sound baths, everything. Like it's basically like holistic, just incredible place.
Yeah.
And so they also look at stigma, challenge of stigma and socially. So they started this campaign where it was like they would listen to the conversation and then they would challenge it. So the conversation was like, I wouldn't want someone, making my food with HIV. And so they were like, right, okay, we'll take that on. And they created a pop-up restaurant. Everyone who worked there had HIV. Everyone, all the chefs, all the staff. And then so it would challenge people's kind of, what's the word, perception of it. And then they listen to the conversation again and like, okay, what's the conversation now? And it's like, okay, I don't mind someone making my food, but I wouldn't want to be touched with someone with HIV. So they go, okay. And then the next year, the campaign is they've created this massage parlor, and every therapist in there was HIV positive. And then again, they listened to, and so the year after, I think they made an episode of Friends where Joey gets HIV.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said that.
And they did it, I think it was like through AI and stuff. And Warner Brothers, who own the rights, apparently were like, you can't do this. We're going to sue you. So you have to stop this. even though apparently the cast of Friends were like, we love what you're doing, but it's just not up to us. It's not our control.
I'm sure it was better than Joey was the spin-off. So
Yeah, yes, that's where it happened. And then the year I did it, they were like looking at, right, we want to make a film, and the lead guy we want to cast has to have HIV, and they're like, okay, what genre do we want to choose? And they said, well, what's the best genre for fear? And they're like, well, it has to be thriller or horror.
Yeah.
So they wrote this film, and they auditioned in Canada, and no one came forward, or very few people. And they were like, okay. So they went to America and put it out. And again, the same thing. And the feedback was people don't want to audition for it because they don't want to have to
out themselves. Yeah.
You're worried about their careers. So then they came to Europe and the UK, and I was like, I'll do it. I couldn't give a fuck. I literally couldn't give a fuck. It like, also, I don't know how it's going to affect. Maybe it has affected me. I don't know, because you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I read the script and I did the audition, and I've never done this before. But at the end of the audition, I added on a little bit, and I said, I just want to say, I don't know why this makes me emotional. Why am I crying? But like, even if I don't get this, I just want to say, I think it's brilliant what you're doing. Like, it's like amazing. And I got the job. So then I had to do like this, other Zoom calls and stuff like that, and recalls for it and things. But yeah, because it doesn't bother me. Like, like I've done other projects. I've always been open and out about it.
Yeah.
I think one way it's a kind of a protection thing, because I had it on Grindr and on dates as well, where when I told people, sometimes you do get bad reactions.
Yeah.
And so I was like, do you know what? I'm not putting myself in that position anymore. I am putting it out there. I'm putting it on my profile, or I'm putting it, you know what I mean? So people know. They can choose to skip over, or...
And you don't have that worry of like, okay, after the first day I've got to tell.
Yes, and then I've got to, and then weird out about it or freak out about it, and having to deal with that myself. So I think it was a way of, self-protection more than...
But it's also, like you said, the expression of it's like you don't want to hide from it, and it's like it is part of you, and
and that's the thing with shame, is that, well, I love it like Dolly Parton, in a sense of like, she's the one that's like, yeah, I have had surgery, and she's the one that makes the joke about, she's the one that brings it up, and so then there is no kind of thing to get caught on or whatever, you know what I mean?
Once you own what you are, no one can use it against you. So
once you own it, like George Michael, when, you know what I mean, he got caught cottaging, and then he brought a song out, and it was just like, you have nothing over me now, because I'm owning it, and that's powerful.
And you never have to apologize for anything either. So
yeah.
You mentioned that you don't like being called, because obviously you've said this on you talked about this openly for quite a while now. You don't like being called an activist.
Yeah.
So what is it between, like, obviously being labelled as that and then just kind of standing up for it? Like, where do you draw the line?
It's not something I've ever called myself. It's something that I've been labelled with.
Yes.
And I've never, like, before kind of come out and said no, but like, am I an activist? I'm an actor, and I'm a human, and I've got a story, and I've told it, and I'm sharing it today. And if it helps people, brilliant. Yes, I've done things for charities and stuff like that, but I kind of like, am I an activist? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on the forefront. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not carrying the placards and stuff.
Yeah, and like, I'm sharing it within my experience and my, world, so to speak. But I'm not someone who's like, ooh.
Yeah.
I also have to be careful of certain activism as well. Like, again, why I act is not for attention. It's because of self-expression.
Yes.
And again, I don't want to be caught, like, it's not my thing. I'm not doing it for attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so you
yeah.
have to be careful about that kind of activism. If like, is it
kind of-
about you?
You're kind of behind
or
the
is it-
scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
If people want to listen to you and take something from it, it's good, and you
Yeah.
want to be aware of it. But like, you don't want
Yes.
to you don't want to take over who you are as a
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. But there's visibility and then there's vulnerability, and
Yeah.
we've kind of talked about a lot of both. So you're experienced in both, obviously. What's the internal monologue maybe that you follow when it's time to speak up and when it's time to stay quiet? Like, what's that? What goes on inside your head?
The monologue is I don't know all the answers, and I don't, and you just have to be honest about that. Like I said, like I'm not a physician or whatever. Like I don't know all the medical terms and all the things and all the ins and outs of it. I just know it from my experience, and you have to, like, I hate people who lie. I hate people who like say things that actually you don't know that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember going for looking around a house and the estate agent. I hate estate agents.
That's the one thing we've established in this episode is estate agents.
And he like there was wires in the wall, and I was like, "What's those wires?" He was like, "Oh," and he just made this line. I thought, You don't know, do you? And then when
Just
we
say
came,
you don't know.
Just say
Yeah.
you don't know. If you don't know, just say it. And then when we came back for another viewing, he found out the right answer, and I thought, well, see, you didn't know. You just bullshitted. Just like, yeah.
There's no shame in not knowing
Not
something.
knowing. It's okay.
I have people on all the time. I mean, this is what, episode 52 or something. There's loads of stuff that people have said. I have no idea. I can do
Yeah.
research into a person or a topic that they're interested in,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be an expert. And I don't know. That's the whole point of asking questions.
Yeah.
Or I just go, look, I don't know, but I'm asking you. You know, it's just, that vulnerability is great.
Yeah. For years, I used to go around collecting answers to things.
Okay.
And it was like, I just had a lot of answers, but the thing is, that's not what is needed. It's knowing what the right question to ask. That what unlocks something. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but just
Deep.
Just,
I love it. Yeah, we've got deep on this. Yeah, but in terms of like the side of your life, because obviously you being an actor and stuff like that, it's easy to you slip into character or whatever. Do you ever find yourself maybe being somebody else around certain types of people? Do you ever have expectations that you try and meet with some people? Obviously, I know you said you're close with your family,
Yes.
which is what people struggle with.
Yes.
Just for people listening, have you ever struggled with people's expectations of you versus who you actually are for the most part?
No, I don't think so. Because I think you are different with different people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to Sammy's podcast.
Yeah.
And when she was saying, when people are like, oh, that's just me, that's who I am, and they're like, no, you're just a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to know, it's being authentic, of course, but also you are adaptable in different situations and who you are with different people. I'm not the same person with a doctor's appointment that I am with my mates in a bar. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, you read the room. You're
context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But expectation, I don't think so, because I think I never know, like, no one's ever going to know who I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just,
Well, people have sort of expected me over the years to maybe, in more recent years especially, because I'm still fairly new at this interview game, people have expected me to come across as more of the Andrew Tate type or the Joe Rogan type,
Right.
you know? And I'm just like, I'm not influenced by either one of those. And when I started making videos, I was like 20 or something like that, and I was very much like influenced by everybody else. Now I feel like I want to be more chill and be my authentic side, and I always say that true authentic expression is the opposite of depression. When you're trying to be somebody else and trying to emulate everybody else and not find your own niche and your own voice, that's when you become miserable, because you're not, there's always going to be part of you that's missing, because you're like, well, I've got to turn it on today, and it's mentally draining. And
something I love is I love being on my own. I love my own company. Like, I'm not uncomfortable sitting in silence and being with myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Do you find yourself distracting at all with like social media or anything like that?
That can be.
To get away from the thoughts. Yeah.
Like doom scrolling. Yeah. But I think that's just habit. It's not a distraction. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not like doing it to distract myself. It's just sometimes it's a good reminder to put that down, isn't it?
Have you ever Googled yourself? I had
gotcha.
To be fair, we've all done it. I've there's not much about obviously me on Google, you just get my socials and a few
Yeah.
YouTube pictures or old pictures for that or some reason on the internet. And I had a friend's girlfriend Google me while I was there. She's like, "You're like famous. You're on Google." I'm like, "It's not that hard to be on Google. It's just pulling up my Facebook cover photo. You know, that's all it's doing." But it is just funny. You're just like, what happens if I turn Adam James Proud on Google? But so at the minute you are currently in Smoggie, Queens, as we mentioned. You are Harrison, is that correct?
Harrison, yeah.
So tell me about that role, how you got it, and sort of, because obviously you said it's non-stop laughter. So what's it like to be on that show?
It is amazing. So my agent sent me this self-tape through, and I was really ill. It was during Eurovision was in Liverpool. And I had the worst, again, flu, like cold, whatever. I was in bed. And I said to David, at the time, my ex-partner, that I was like, I need to do this tape. So I was shivering in between. Did it, sent it off. And then, got the role. And they did it differently. Like, they wanted to cast it before they had anyone on board.
Okay.
So normally, like, you do a read through whatever, and then it gets picked up, and then they cast it. But they wanted to do it the opposite way, because they wanted to hit the BBC with this is and so they cast us all, and we did a read through for the BBC. The BBC were like, it's one of the funniest and best read throughs we've ever been to. And we just again giggled all the way through. We all clicked. It's like
like being back at drama group again.
Yeah, it's like a family. It honestly is. We all get on. We have a WhatsApp group. We're always sending each other things. It's just the best time. I never want it to end. Like, when we came to the end of season 1, we were all like, "Oh my God! Like, I can't believe that this is going to be potentially it."
Yeah.
And then we found out we got a season 2. We had to keep it quiet for a long time, but we knew. But like, we're all really close, producers, everything. Like, it's just this little,
it's a proper family run kind of thing. Yeah. Do you think that is this the first time you've been on like a series of things?
We did Hollyoaks.
Yeah. Was it Gareth you did in Hollyoaks?
Gareth, yes. Yeah. Good memory, because I couldn't remember.
You're like, what the fuck's this called? Yeah. So obviously I'm just curious, because obviously like the roller coaster of acting is kind of not knowing where the next thing's coming from sometimes. Like, how do you handle that? Like, is that something you've ever struggled with, or are you just like, right, time to focus on the next thing, or is that like a lull? Or
never. And I think I'm saying unique, but like, my mindset is very different, I think, from other people, in a sense of like, I love what I do, but my sense of worth isn't tied up in it. So if I'm not working, it's not like, oh my God, who am I? What is my worth? It's the same with when dancing as well. Like, sometimes you might get injured, and if you can't dance, then, and I've friends that go through this kind of like crisis, and you think, well, no, that's not who I am. Also, like, people always say, oh, you got to deal with rejection a lot of the time, and I'm like, no, I don't. I get every job.
Have you seen my acting ability?
Because why I say no is that, like, there's different parts to acting, right? For me, there's like 3 main components. There's the acting itself, the craft, which I am in love with. There's the business side of it, the industry, which I, kind of have to get your head around. But also there's the other side. It's more American in a sense, but I think it is catching on over here a bit more, is that your mindset. And your mindset basically underlies everything. Yes. So, before that phone call or email comes through of an audition, where are you mentally to receive that? And then you got to work on the audition itself, and then it's a whole minefield, or potentially. And
it sounds like a lot to deal with as well.
And like, going in, before I would go into an audition and I'd like try and give them what they wanted, and the thing is that you don't know what they want. Sometimes
assume it.
Sometimes they don't even know what they want. So if you go in and you don't give them what they want, and you don't give them you've given them nothing. So best thing to do is go in, do your version. This is my interpretation.
Yes.
Like it or love it. I'm not looking for your approval. I'm not looking for your yes. There is no job, by the way. That's how I look at it. There's there's just 15, 20 minutes or however long it is to do the thing I love. And it's amazing how quite a few successful actors have clicked onto that and shared, and that's where I've picked it up from. Like, oh, it actually works. And I go in and I shit on the floor, so to speak, not literally.
I was like, that's a hell of an audition. That's a ballsy audition right there.
I don't know why I didn't get it.
I picked it up and threw it at them. They were looking for King Kong, I thought.
So I do my version. Sometime, and they'll direct you. Again, minefield.
Yeah.
Because before I'd be like, I'm not doing it right. Oh my God, I'm not doing it how they want it.
Yes,
But it's not. Sometimes it's like they just want to see, can you take direction? Or you might be a little bit off and they might want to steer you and like...
Because they like what you're about, but not quite...
They want to give you... They want you to answer their problem. And do you know what I mean?
Like that,
But if you're going there judging me, it doesn't work.
That's very sales. I love that because that is like the idea of sales is like not like, oh, I really want them to buy. It's like I can solve their problem.
Yeah,
it flips that on its head. Yeah.
Then I walk out that door and I think about it for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And I think about it in a practical way. I think about it, okay, what was missing from the audition that maybe wasn't there, or what went well, what didn't go so well, what would I like? I'd look at it practically. I wouldn't go, that was shit, and then they're like, oh, I'm not good enough. You have to listen to those. You have to be aware of those conversations. You know what I mean?
Fighting your own inner critic almost.
Yeah, like the power of now. Like you have to be aware of, okay, that's what my mind's saying. Is that true? No, it's not. But let's acknowledge it. Let's be conscious of it.
Yeah.
And I think about it practically. And then I put something in my future, which means I have something exciting to go towards, to do, because I'm looking forward, I'm not looking back. I'm not one of those actors that's like calling my agent up going, oh, God, have they said anything? Have they made a decision? I couldn't give a shit, to be honest. Like, I just get on with my life. And I've had moments where my agent's called and she's like, you've got the job. I'm like, what job? I'm totally like,
diva of you.
Totally,
Yeah.
I didn't, so that's how I deal with a lot of things.
It's putting the rejection out of it, because people do take things personally when they don't need to. Yeah,
it's not personal. I mean, sometimes they might think you should, but also like, again, like other people's opinions, like it's their opinions. They might like you, they might not, but also it might not come down to you being good or bad. It's just like recently I went for a Netflix job and I got down to the last two and they went with the other guy. And it's like, and some people, a couple of people were like, oh, you must be disappointed, or like, that's really frustrating. It was like, not really. Like, it happens. It's just, it didn't go my way. It doesn't say anything about my ability, about me as a person, or if I'm good, or like, I can't remember the full, is it a proverb or whatever you call it, like a parable story or whatever, and it's like a farmer and his son, and the horse runs away, and all the villagers go, oh, you must be good, your horse ran away. He's like, meh. Right, the horse comes back with 6 other horses. Now he's got 7 horses, and they're like, oh, you must be buzzing, you've got 7 horses. He's like, meh. His son gets his leg blown off or whatever, and he's like, oh, you must be good, your son's lost his leg. He's like, meh. And then the war comes and his son can't get drafted because he doesn't have a leg, so he stays at home. He's like, you must be buzzing. It's that sort of attitude. Like, no matter what happens, it's like, okay, good. There's like both. It's not. Has there ever been a awkward moment on any of the sets that you've been on that you can tell of? Anything that's really stuck out where you're like, oh no, or like moment. That was horrible, or that was the worst take I've ever done? Anything like that? Trying to think.
This is where I'm testing your memory skills
again, but like, my memory's horrendous. But then the other day, I did have to drive in a scene, and I passed my test just before COVID, and then not really driven since. And they gave me a manual car, and I was thinking, oh God, I've got to drive and act at the same time. Like, this is.
Can we just get a stunt double in here, please?
Can we? Just like someone completely different from the back. And
get Henry Cavill to do this scene, please.
Yeah, I've got to listen at the same time as do like this. But I mean, it worked well because in the scene I was meant to be frustrated as well. So stalling the car, doing the what was the kangaroo jump thing actually worked quite well because you're like, damn it. Yeah.
I love that. Is there obviously the Netflix edition that you missed out on?
Yeah.
Is there a role that you would really love to play, or a certain genre that you haven't quite experimented with yet that you'd love to be involved in?
I would.
This is your chance to pitch yourself.
Exactly. This used to be a really difficult question for me because, like, I'd always have to be like. Sometimes there's a thing, an expectation of what I thought people would want to hear. Like, oh yeah, I want to play Hamlet. I don't want to play Hamlet. Couldn't give a shit. But like, what I do want to do, and sometimes like I think, well, I don't know. The role's not been written yet. But something that I do want to do because I doing my level 6 in sign language, British Sign Language, is I'd love to do a role where I use that, where I tell a story and I get to utilise it. That would be my dream.
That sounds like something that maybe CBBC or something like. I don't know. Like maybe it's more of a kid show because they have a lot of that in there.
No,
now,
I want to do a drama.
You want to do?
I want to do a serious, full on. Well, there was. Oh, what was it called? It wasn't Code of Silence. It was the one before, and it was about. I actually auditioned for it, but I didn't get it, and it was for. He was in prison. And he'd murdered his friend, killed his friend, but you didn't know the circumstances of it. And he was in jail, and they made him sign a false confession because he didn't know what he was signing because he didn't know how to read. So they just like sign that, and he just signed saying that he'd done it,
okay.
and he was sent to prison for life. And because he was deaf, no one visited, no one communicated with him, and so he's literally like couldn't read or nothing. And so the officer, there's a new kind of like officer that comes in, and he realizes that, oh, you don't know
what's going on,
yeah, and it breaks your heart because it's a really moving moment. He didn't get to sign in that character, but I'd love to do. I'd like to do it.
Nice. I mean, sign language we were doing a bit before, like Corspel, anyway, so it's not something that I've ever looked into. But the more people keep coming on, and it's weird. More people are bullied, more people are getting into sign language. It's weird. I don't know what the correlation is with it. But doing that. But would you want to move into like producing and directing and stuff, or are you sticking with the acting? Do you think?
Acting. That's where. I just don't have the patience to write. Also, like being dyslexic, I'd have to find another process because putting me in front of a paper or a screen, I'd be like, oh my God, this is hell for me. But I feel like I'm like Whitney Houston, like you write me the songs and I'll sing them. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
We've gone from Superman to Whitney Houston. Folks. We've really changed the genre here. Maybe you could play her in the biopic, who knows?
Yes. So
Nice.
But I would, at the moment, I'd like to do, when I finish my level 6, I'd like to do an interpreter course. I'd like to be, do you know what I'd love? Because when I was in Hollyoaks, is it on Sundays, they have the interpreter in the corner on the omnibus.
Yeah.
I'd love to be in something and signing it at the same
People
time. Isn't that like,
that would be cool though, because it's kind of like a little bit of a meta joke as well. Isn't it? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, it's been fabulous having you on the show. I've really enjoyed this chat. But I have one final question for you, which is, you might have heard this on Sammy's. It's a question that I ask all the guests that come on at the very end.
Yeah.
And it's quite simply, do you consider yourself a success? And you can answer that however you want. There is no right or wrong answer to this. There is no expectations.
I don't know why that made me cry. Why am I so emotional today?
We've been through a lot. We've took you on a roller coaster of your life here. That's why.
Yes, I do. I actually do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
What makes you feel that way?
Because of the things I've achieved, the things I, like about myself. I am a success. I didn't think I'd amount to much, really, to be honest. Or like I failed school, and the things that I've achieved, coming back to my hometown, and being in a successful series, you know what I mean? All those things, like, but it's not, do I feel successful because other people perceive me successful? It's about myself and the things I've achieved. And also like, failure. I think I have a good relationship with failure. and to me, it's something. It's about learning from it. Do you know what I mean? It's like welcoming it in. So even if like you do fail at something, it's actually a positive because you can learn from that.
Yeah.
And grow and be a success. But yeah.
I love that. I love that. Mate, this has been one of my favourite interviews. I absolutely love this. But where
you.
Can people follow your journey, and where can people watch Smoggie Queens?
Smoggie Queens, BBC iPlayer, and I suppose website, petermcphersonactor.com. I think that's what it is.
I had a look at that.
Did you? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I like the Peaky Blinders intro
Yeah.
thing you've got going on. I like that. I was
Yeah.
Flat cap really suits you. Not many men can pull off a flat cap, but you've got the jaw for it, mate.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
I don't. I just I shouldn't be allowed near schools. But listen, guys, go check out Smoggie Queens and go and follow Peter on everything he does, because he's just a fabulous all-round good bloke. And we need to make him the next Superman as well. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. He's got the American accent for it as well. He's got the jaw, he's got the hair, he's got the muscles. The only thing he's missing is a cape. Yeah. So until the next episode, guys, please give us a 5-star review. No 4 stars, right?
No.
It's 5 stars.
5 stars.
5 stars or bugger off. And as always, guys, take care, and I'll see you very, very soon.